We're the only ones here. Oh, a John. Hi, John. We see we have a viewer. Okay, I'm gonna comment on the post and let people know we're live now.
Hi everybody, welcome to ALA Office Hours. We're just hanging out if you want to ask us any questions about how to get involved.
We could totally gossip about Doctor Who. I'm kind of up to date on that.
Yeah, you'd have to field those questions.
I'm one episode behind on American Horror Story, which is really messing with my head lately.
Let's see, I can talk about Orphan Black. That messed with my head.
Did you finish?
Season 2, yes.
I love that show.
I do too.
Was that's the latest season, right? Season 2.
Yeah. Yeah, now we have to wait, sadly.
So sad. I suppose it's possible we just won't end up with any questions.
That's okay. I know a lot of people are doing stuff for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
You are, of course, the Cheshire Cat.
I am.
Where's
I
your
am.
smile?
Smile. Today at ALA we're doing the traditional ALA holiday, which is Hot Dog Day, which some members know about and some members don't. But it celebrates hot dogs. And since it's on a Halloween this year, we dressed up as our favorite literary characters or authors. And I had all the stuff to be a Cheshire Cat, so that was easy.
I forgot there was a theme. I'm a library scientist.
You are a library scientist.
I guess that's sort of bookish.
But I mean, that's your job. You are a library scientist.
Oh, so you're implying this is not a costume?
Technically, but just saying. Maybe you're a mad library scientist. You just mess up your hair a little bit before you go downstairs. You'll be fine.
Okay. I was going to do the Dr. Horrible thing, but I didn't have a ray gun handy. Of course, that's not literary either. Musical, though.
Yeah, you could be. Well, he had rubber gloves and stuff, too. Hey, John, yeah, I think you're the only one watching at the moment, so feel free to ask questions if you would like to know anything or if you'd like to, actually keep us on a topic. I'm also putting it out on Facebook, because I didn't think to do that, so I should do that now.
So I think the only other person I've seen in the building who's dressed up is Allie in conference services.
I know about a couple of people. Well, Julie is dressed up as Batgirl.
Oh, right.
and somebody in Max was, which is member and customer service, it was going to dress up as the Hulk. Yes, quite awesome. And she was going to do her makeup at home. So she was taking the train as the Hulk.
Hulk smash CTA.
Yes.
So let's see. Let me find the hangout we did last week. Last week we talked with Courtney Young, the current ALA president, and Sari Feldman, the president-elect, on this very topic, how to get involved in ALA. That's another way if folks want to watch that to learn about this topic.
Yes, and you know, Jenny and I are talking about doing regular office hours just to field questions about ALA and you know, for the members, what behind the scenes stuff, or you know, what's coming up for conferences, or how can you get involved, or any sort of stuff like that. So just to give you a little background, I am Tina Coleman. I'm in the membership development part of ALA. I've been at ALA for 14 years this month. I don't always dress like a cat, although I will say that several people have already stopped by my office to find out what I was dressed up as, because I think they think I'm a little weird, but fun. My job title is membership specialist, so I deal a lot with membership engagement, and I liaise for a few of the member interest groups and work on some of the membership marketing stuff, but mostly things like member engagement with conferences and things like the ALA's presence at South by Southwest and supporting the members that go there, or doing any of the comic conventions that ALA has a presence at as well, and pretty much just working on that kind of stuff, and also ALA social media. So that's a little bit of background about me and what I do at ALA. Jenny, do you want to kind of give a background on what you do? I think you're muted.
I am. My computer was slowing down and wouldn't let me unmute. Skynet. Yeah, my name is Jenny Levine. I technically work in the IT department. We call it ITTS, Information Technology and Telecommunication Services, but I have a kind of a kitchen sink job where I work on our professional collaboration site, ALA Connect. I do stuff with social media, mostly with Tina. I do some conference stuff. I don't know, I get to dabble in a lot of different things, which is really a lot of fun for me. Makes every day different. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is how people can get involved in AA, because I know when I was a member, conference was really overwhelming, still is as a staff member. And I didn't know how to get started on a committee. I didn't know anybody in ALA. And I just really remember that feeling well of not knowing where to start. So that's one reason that I like working with Tina on this kind of stuff, because I've been with ALA 8 years, and I still learn something every day. I still don't know everything about it, so I want to try to help people figure out where they fit in, where their niche is, where they can really make their passion do good things. So. I think the link went in the chat, right? Did it appear? Okay, because I couldn't tell because my computer was acting wonky. Yay, technology.
Yes. Yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons that Jenny and I want to do regular office hours is also so we can kind of play with some of the technology that's out there that allows us to communicate better with members and allows ALA to be a little more transparent, just about helping you guys get more involved. So, and also it's fun. I mean, I am hoping that we get around to the cookie recipe sharing. Although I didn't bring any cookie recipes with me today, I'd have to look something up on Pinterest. But I am planning on baking for the holidays.
Woohoo! Yeah, I want to bake this year too.
I have to bake. My mom recently moved house, and I took all of her cookie tins. So I have a lot of cookie tins to get rid of. So.
Well, you know, IT is always happy to help.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a list. A big ALA list of cookie recipients.
We almost made brownies for Hot Dog Day today, but then we thought, no, we'll stick with the Halloween candy.
Yeah. Considering I was working on my costume last night, I think that it was better that I stick to just Halloween candy. I hope I get trick-or-treaters at home.
Maybe we should try virtual Hot Dog Day with the members.
Oh, yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah. Is there a hashtag Hot Dog Day?
I don't know. Let me just consult my Twitter. Let's see.
Wonder how we go about making that trend.
I imagine that there's an actual hot dog day.
Probably in the summer, I'm guessing.
Probably. I do see a hot dog day hashtag. There are people using the hot dog day tag. We should get on
today.
Well,
yeah, we'll post a picture from Staff Hot Dog Day.
I see Vanessa's sympathizing with me about cookie tins. It's a cyclical thing, isn't it? Like you get cookie tins and then you have to it's like you're morally obligated to bake to put something in it. And yes, it does take care of some gifts, but it's still. My plan is to next weekend start making dough and freezing it, so I'm ready.
That's a good plan.
We'll see how it works.
I think you owe Vanessa cookies now.
Or at least a recipe. I make these awesome, every year I make sure to make coffee cookies, which are really, really good. They're sort of a mocha coffee. Oh, I love them. But they are like super caffeinated too. But then I also make these tea cookies, so I have coffee and tea. And I usually use Earl Grey for my tea cookies.
I think you made both of those last year, didn't you?
I make them every year. Those are my standards, and then I fill in around. I also usually make like one batch of Toll House cookies. Yeah, Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookies is pretty much the best cookie recipe ever.
Think about that for a minute.
Oh, Vanessa says, we moved across the country, so felt allowed to throw away all cookie tins. Oh, you're so lucky. See, my parents only moved across the city, so I felt obligated to take them. That's a wise decision, Vanessa. No more cookie tin moratorium. It's only a cyclical machine of cookie exchanges.
But Vanessa, then how do you give away cookies?
Good question.
Of course, you still decorate yours, don't you, Tina?
Some of them I do. Not sugar cookies. My mom decorates. I'm not a big fan of frosted sugar cookies. I don't know why. Sugar cookies are fine on their own. I don't know. Should we... Coffee cups too? Oh. Yeah, that's sad. I have a collection of mugs that only end up leaving if they're broken. My mom and I have... yes, how do you give away cookies if you have no cookie tins? Are you a plate person?
That'd be easier to store.
That's what my mom does.
One year we had someone give us homemade marshmallows. That was really good.
Mmm. Did you make s'mores?
No, we ate the marshmallows.
Oh, I've seen that pin, the milk carton container. That is a good idea. I've seen also people make little cookie boxes or little cookie containers from like paper plates or... Oh, that is a good idea. Someday when I don't have any more tins, I'm totally shifting to that model. Something that won't survive the cookie giving process. Oh, that's a good idea. Vanessa said she's been stingy about giving away cookies. In the last potluck, she brought meatballs.
Nice.
My big concern, because I have to ship a lot of cookies, like out of the city, so they have to survive, which is why I always end up shifting to cookies instead of anything else. Because one year I wanted to switch to making crackers, and I wanted to do like pickles and jellies and do a more savory gift basket. But alas, the pickles and the cookies were my downfall, or the pickles and the jellies were my downfall. I didn't get time to do that. So I wonder if we should, is there anything about ALA that anybody has any general questions about, or now that we have 3 people hanging out with us? You know, midwinter is coming up too.
Yeah, here in Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show. We actually just went to a meeting that we were looking over the space. Jenny oversees the networking and commons, and I sometimes I help out with that, and then we also kind of oversee the membership pavilion. Okay, Vanessa asks, why should I join ALA? I think that there's a lot of ways to answer that kind of question. I mean, ultimately it gets down to what you want to get out of ALA. And ALA is definitely one of those places that you get out of it what you put into it. Being here for on the staff side for 14 years, that's mostly the biggest lesson that's the biggest lesson that I've learned over that time. I know I'm not a librarian, but librarians are definitely some of my favorite people in the world, mostly because librarians are, so far as I can tell, passionate without fail, and they really believe in making the world a better place, even if they don't agree on what that better place looks like. Librarians seem to all be about making the world a better place for everyone, which I really, really respect that that desire to do something impactful. So why should you join ALA? I mean, I could let you know about all of the professional options or supporting the profession, which is one aspect of it, of course, but then there's also the things that you get out of ALA, networking and connections. And Jenny, you want to I mean, I think that you can kind of talk about the networking aspect, since you actually are a librarian and are an ALA member.
Yeah, I'll speak about it from a personal perspective. So let's see, I graduated from library school in 1992, which seems like a really, really long time ago. And I got to say, I kind of coasted through my first library job, and nobody really told me about ALA. Nobody pulled me into ALA. Nobody helped me get started. And so I spent the first part of my library career not really understanding why I would want to join. And it was only when I got to the library system level, because I worked in 2 public libraries, and then I went to a regional library system, and that's when I started to really understand the power of librarians and libraries joining together. And I started finding a cohort at that point, and when I started, I started the first library blog in '95 and a second one in 2002. And so I kind of got a cohort through social media, really, through that blog. And it wasn't until I started understanding what you could do beyond just talking to each other that I really understood the power of ALA. So from my perspective, one of the reasons I love working here is that I see ALA as a platform. I mean, it's definitely what I consider to be the best way to network and find the largest group of people who are passionate about the same things you are. I always say ALA has something for everybody. But personally, I see it as a platform, and I try to build ways for members to use it as a platform, because we all get bogged down in our day-to-day. We're all doing 2, 3, 4 or more jobs because of budget cuts and staff cuts and increases in workload. Excuse me. And so the only way we're going to make libraries better, not just our own library, the only way we're going to stay visible, fight the good fight, help people beyond just our own community, and have a really strong future together is by working together. And that's what ALA gives you, is that platform for working together. If ALA disappeared tomorrow, we would, I can't even imagine what would happen to libraries in this country not having that national voice. And we all work together to make that national voice, to be heard, to make everything better. So to me, you can join ALA at the really small scale and work with the group that best matches your needs, but then you can also work at the really big scale. And that's what I really enjoy, is helping people work at the big scale to change things and make them better.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that people don't think about, and this sort of addresses the topic of membership in ALA, as well as getting involved in the work of the association. A lot of people don't think that you can come and go, but ALA, the way that parts of it are set up, allow for you to come in, do what work you can or you want to at that point, and then step back a little bit and then come back. So I think that kind of adds a little bit of flexibility as well in terms of getting involved in the work of the association. But the number one thing that I hear librarians talking about in terms of why join the association and why be involved in the association, I think that those are 2 very linked ideas in terms of why become a member of ALA. Because if you're not going to be involved in the association, then you're not going to ever going to get the most out of your membership. If you just kind of sit passively by and just let it roll over you. But finding your tribe seems to be the number one. I mean, and I hear a lot of people talk about that's the reason, or they've stayed in librarianship, or that's the thing that they found within librarianship is you find your tribe and you just know this is the space that I'm meant to be in. And I think that a lot of people find that as they're doing work for the association and work for the profession at large. Okay,
Yeah,
Vanessa.
and
Sorry, just watching the chat.
yeah. I just want to stress, too, that for me, getting involved doesn't just mean committees or attending conference, because that's nobody paid for me to go to ALA when I was starting out. In fact, I'm not sure. I think there was 1 year my system paid for me. So, you have to find other ways to get involved, and those ways do exist. And I put the link in the chat box to the Hangout from last week where we talked about a lot of those ways. But, I mean, Tina and I in particular are really trying to build short-term ways to get involved. And if a conference comes around you, we're happy to work with you on initiatives that take place around there. Member interest groups or initiative groups are a really great way to get involved without the long-term commitment of a committee. Members can submit resolutions. There's just so many different ways to get involved, and that don't involve, a monthly meeting or being the chair of a committee, something like that. Even just down to voting. It's so important that everybody votes in the spring election.
Yes, definitely. I mean, ultimately, it is your association, so that, and even as a microcosm of democracy, your vote definitely counts a lot. Yeah, and in terms of getting involved, one of the things, to what Jenny was talking about, one of the things that we really try and do is even kind of give you opportunities before you're a member, if you're sort of on the fence or you don't know how to find your place in ALA and you're not a member yet. Things like the member initiative groups really kind of give you an opportunity. With the member initiative groups, there are things for non-ALA members to do. Some opportunities like speaking or grant opportunities or things like that are only available to ALA members. But there's still work that needs to happen. And conversations that need to happen, and we don't want to cut anybody's voice out of those kind of discussions. So there's still participation things that you can sort of get your feet wet and figure out, where your place is in the association before you become a member too. So hopefully, Vanessa, that answered your question. I know that was a sort of all over the place answer.
And I want to stress, too, that anybody can reach out to Tina or myself or pretty much any staff member if you're not sure where to start, and we will help you get started. We can talk about what your subjects, your favorite subjects are, what you're really passionate about, what type of library, things like that, and we will help you find the group that you really fit into and can get a lot done with.
Yeah, I just put my email address in the chat, so everybody can copy that over as they want. And you can always feel free to email me questions, or Jenny and I are both very open to fielding whatever questions we can answer. And if we don't have an answer, we'll either track it down, or we're not really shy about letting you know that's not really something we have an answer for yet. Maybe we can figure out a way together to find that. No problem, Vanessa. That's what we're here for.
Well, and I think that's a very fair question. I mean, that's the question I had. So when I was a young librarian, oh gosh, does that make me an old librarian now? Let me rephrase.
I'm telling you, you're a mad library scientist.
Data everywhere.
It remains to be seen if you're bent on world domination through library science.
For library science, yeah, totally.
I don't know if that's how the mad scientist credo works, Jenny.
It is for me. That's broad scale.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Vanessa. Yeah, like I was saying, Jenny and I are talking about we want to do this regularly. I kind of would like to do it like once a month or twice a month, just to see what's, what everybody wants to do, or, sometimes it's just fun to just hang out too.
Let's see, John's. How do you use a pivot table?
I totally, when I first learned how to pivot tables worked, I had that giddiness too, although then I never really got the opportunity to use them, and now I probably couldn't remember how to use a pivot table.
I have to learn. We need to hang out on pivot tables. John, do you know about pivot tables? Because if you want to speak about that, I am totally for that. But you know what? Actually, teaching. So John, I don't know if you're part of the Learning Roundtable. They're all about not instruction from the sense of like an academic library doing instruction to. Well, I guess they actually do some of that, but it's all about training, and especially for librarians. So I'm wondering if your teaching degree would fit in really well there. And it's a roundtable, which is different from a division because it's more interest-based than specialty-based. So you get all kinds of different librarians in the group, and it's really great to share best practices that way. And there's a little less bureaucratic overhead with a roundtable, so it's really easy to get started doing webinars or publishing articles, things like that. Not that there's a lot of overhead in divisions, but they're a lot more grassroots than a division.
Also, some of the member interest groups sometimes have speaking opportunities as well. I mean, submitting, being able to speak at something like ALA or even a non-ALA conference, sometimes it starts with just proposing whatever idea you have for something you'd like to speak on, and a lot of that, usually is, this is a question that I had, and this is how I solved it, or this is of interest to me and these other people that I work with. I bet there are other librarians in the community that also would like to find out about this. Sharing best practices is still a really big resource for all of us, I think. So starting with an idea of what you want to talk about is a good beginning if you want to start speaking at things like conferences. And then just seeing, where your interest lies, where the opportunities are, and matching those things up. And also making sure to let people know within those groups that you're available as a panel member, or that you wouldn't mind helping with a presentation or anything like a poster session or something like that. Those are, teaming up is always a good idea too, and that sort of adds to networking. Then you have a go-to group of people. Does that help, John?
I mean, if you want to talk about specific interests, John or Vanessa, we were happy to kind of suggest some groups that might be a good fit.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Let's see. I mean, there's some really interesting groups that people don't necessarily know about. One of my favorites is McGirt, just because I like saying McGirt. I say it as often as I can. It's the, help me out, Tina, Maps and Geospatial. Yeah. Roundtable. So I mean, we can get pretty specialized within ALA.
And that is an example of how on staff we usually refer to all of the roundtables. Which is weird because we don't really do that with any of the divisions except for YALSA and sometimes ALSC, which is ALSC, or Association for Library Services to Children, and YALSA, of course, is Young Adult Library Services Association, I think.
Yeah, the roundtables definitely have the better acronyms for sounding out. Mm-hmm. Gilbert.
I always call Gilbertert. Gilbertert. There's a T in there.
Yeah, that's true. Faflert. Yeah, there's a lot of those. Godort. the
Yes.
government. So let's say we've got, so McGirt is maps and geospatial. Gilbert is gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered roundtable. Faflert is
Federal
federal
and armed services.
armed services.
Armed forces, you're right.
Yeah, okay. Godard is government documents.
Gamert.
Gamert, of course. Easy, gaming. Learnart. That doesn't, Learnart. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of roundtables that it's really easy to get involved with.
Yeah,
and they do lots of discussion groups too.
And the roundtables are cost effective to join too.
Not that we don't love our divisions.
Dynamic. Hmm?
Not that we don't love our divisions.
No. Divisions are very, they do a lot of good work. I mean, I'm amazed on a yearly basis how much the divisions can get done and get through.
Yeah.
YALSA especially has a really dynamic membership. They're always doing something.
And ELSC.
Yes, and ELSC. The YMAs are coming up.
Yeah.
Youth Media Awards.
Let's see. So the other thing too is, like, when I started out, there was no way you would get me speaking in front of a group, and I ended up doing presentations, which just slays me. I don't know how I did or do that, but I started out by writing articles a lot, so that's another entree in. We have American Libraries Magazine. The divisions and roundtables all have their own publications.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of places to write articles as well. Oh, good. Vanessa found the list of roundtables.
Mm-hmm.
Should have put that link in there. I wasn't thinking. And the lowest form of bureaucratic, I'm not saying this the right way. The easiest groups to get involved with in terms of no red tape at all, no dues, no nothing, is the member initiative groups. And any member can start a member initiative group. So if you see a topic that needs people coming together around it, and somehow we don't have something about that already, then you can actually start a member initiative group with, 100 signatures?
Yeah, you need 100 signatures.
Yeah, so that's actually how the Games and Gaming Roundtable got started. They formed a MIG first, and then they became a roundtable. Yay, John's a member of Gamert!
Hooray!
It's very clear. Let's see. That's a good point, John, that it's not real clear how to get involved in Gamert. Part of that is because Gamert is so new. It's 3 or 4 years. And there's a Connect group, a Connect community, where we talk about stuff. But they're getting started with their publications still. They've just gotten most of their committees off the ground in the last year. So that's one where they're still building all of those different channels.
Yeah, Gamert is a really new roundtable. And I'm the staff liaison for 3 of the member interest groups: the Graphic Novels and Comics in Libraries member interest group, which is very busy, the Virtual Communities in Libraries member interest group, and they do a lot of work about things like, well, virtual worlds. So, like, they do a lot of stuff on Minecraft. They've been talking a lot about what are the classrooms called? What are the class courses called? I can never remember that acronym. And then in things like Second Life, and for a while there was even a Librarians Guild in World of Warcraft. So that kind of work. And then I'm also the staff liaison with Jenny, the co-staff liaison for library entrepreneurs and makerspaces. Entrepreneurs and makerspaces in libraries member interest group.
Mm-hmm. I'm just putting some links in the chat window for ALA's mailing lists and ALA Connect.
Wait. What movie was filming outside your house last night, John?
Wait, what did I miss? Go back.
Do tell.
Wow, my computer is going slow. Okay. Ooh, was it a scary movie?
We're all waiting with bated breath to find out what this movie thing is. I will say that I'm sort of a pop culture fanatic.
Sort of.
Just because I have to watch all the shows. There's some shows that I haven't gotten into.
That's not the definition of sort of. John, don't worry, we didn't take that as grumpy.
No, not at all.
That's a good point. And actually, if you want to, there's a group that's redesigning the GameArt website. So if you want to join and help out with that, that's another great option. They've got, let's see, I'll just go on about GameArt a little bit. So they've got the International Games Day Committee. International Games Day is coming up in just a couple weeks, Saturday, November 15th. There's the Program Planning Committee for conferences. They've started a new committee to do outreach to comic book and game conventions, to have a presence at all the ones where they can get a booth, which ALA can often get for free. And then we try to staff it with local librarians. What else do we have? We have a nominating committee, we have the board, and the website committee. So those are some ways to get involved. As they get the publication piece going, that'll be another way.
Yeah, GameArt is actually our the graphic novels and libraries member interest groups partner for the Will Eisner graphic novel grants for libraries. So they're forever near and dear to my heart for helping with that too.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Vanessa, thanks.
Feel free to contact us about anything. Okay, so I don't know anything about ghost movies that are being made right now. They haven't started the Ghostbuster one yet, I don't think. That's all the all-female cast, so it can't be that.
Was probably not on John's must-see list now, so it kept him awake.
That is true. So there was a really awesome celebrity sighting that you could photobomb?
Yeah.
The member groups, good question. Let's find the list for the member groups. It's in the member section on the website, but it can be a little difficult to find.
It's under member communities.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Now if my computer will speed up a little. Okay. There we go. Rochester. Oh, Rochester rocks.
It's right there in the name.
You're more awake than I am today. Haven't had my
It's all
candy.
caffeine. Yes, in anticipation of the candy exchange. We're doing a Halloween candy exchange today. Team LA.
Yeah, being in IT, John, I got to tell you, I I do hear that the ALA site can be hard to navigate. We're working on a personas project right now to try to work on a redesign, and it's the great thing about ALA is it's so big and varied, and the bad thing about ALA is it's so big and varied, and trying to reflect the good on the website is not an easy task. So it's something we're constantly trying to work on, and I mean there have been a lot of improvements, but we know there's still a ways to go. So yeah, we hear you. Yeah. Yeah, anytime you run into a specific problem, or something isn't where you thought it would be, or you can't find something, I'd encourage you to use the feedback form on the website to just note that, because that goes to a specific group of people on the staff who are kind of in charge of steering the website, the web management group, and they take every one of those messages very seriously, and they do, especially if it's something they can fix short term, they will address that as quickly as they can. Great. Glad this is helpful.
Mhm. Okay, well, I think that we should probably be wrapping up soon, especially since, as I mentioned, candy exchange. John, you can feel free to email either Jenny or I if you need anything, or if there's anything we can help with. Ooh.
Reese's for John. And Vanessa.
And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try and set up regular hangouts for office hours. So hopefully, this will be kind of a growing group participation thing. We can all just talk about stuff. Thanks for coming, John.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Okay, we'll see you online soon.
Bye.
Bye.